we'll go ahead and get started. It's 10:01, so I want to be always respectful of your time on these busy days. Hopefully you're going to have a nice chill day today. I have to go out and do quite a few things. I'm not looking forward to it because the weather isn't all that inviting this morning. Cold, damp. I'd rather just stay in and snuggle up. But we're going to begin our day by bringing some energy to the practice, but we're also going to balance that with rest. So our theme for the week, if you've followed any of the other practices or read the newsletter, is learning to rest. And we're going to build up some energy today. We're going to work the core. So we're going to explore that work-rest balance. And this relates back to a very important principle in yogic philosophy called Sthira Sukha. And Sthira Sukha says that we need to always strive to find the balance between effort and ease. So effort and ease can reflect your practice. In other words, we don't want to overstretch, we don't want to overdo, we don't want to overextend. We want to always strive to find the ease in the pose. But of course, there's effort that we expend to get to that point. So finding that balance is very, very important for your mind, for your body, and just for your spirit throughout life. So as we work through some of the more working parts of the practice today, we're going to come back to a resting pose. And we've got 2 or 3 of them today, maybe 4 actually, that are really nice resting poses, and we're going to really drop into those resting poses as well. So let's begin by starting with the king of all resting poses, Shavasana pose or corpse pose. We're going to lay all the way down on the mat. And so just stretch yourself out. We're going to take adequate time this morning to really discover how to allow ourselves to drop into rest. And then eventually we'll come back around to this at the end of the practice as well. So go ahead and lay all the way down. As you allow your body to just let itself relax and release down on the mat, take a deep breath in and release it all the way out. Do that again. And then release out. And then one more time, make this the deepest breath you have taken yet today. Inhale. And then release it all the way out. At the end of that exhalation, feel your body let go. Just become aware of all of the surfaces of your anatomy that are resting on the mat. The weight of your head, the weight of your feet. Feel the surfaces of your body release their need to hold and engage. And know that when you are at rest, you're in a safe, secure place. It's sometimes said that we are not human doings, we are human beings. And yet we spend our time doing, actively pursuing one thing or another, striving. But rest is meant to counter that by just learning to be. shoulders relax. Soften the muscles of your neck. Release your jaw and let your teeth come slightly apart. Feel the muscles of your face smooth out. Let the pelvic bowl drop down toward the mat. Take about 5 or 6 more breaths here in silent release. And see if you can just feel the stillness within. And then on your next breath, begin to move and slide the right foot up, bend the right knee, hug that right knee into your chest. Create circles with the ankle as you circle that foot around 3 times one direction. And then circle it 3 times the other way. That foot to stillness, hug that knee in a little tighter. Take the left hand to the outside of the right knee, right arm into a T off the shoulder, and draw the knee over to the left. Inhale, feel the right lung lift. Exhale and soften the right shoulder down. Perhaps allow your right ear to drop down toward its shoulder. One more nice breath here. Inhale and roll back to center. Slide your right foot down the mat and draw the left knee into the chest. Hug the left knee in. Circle the left toes. Create those circles with the ankles 3 or 4 times around one direction. And then circle it the other way. Hug that left knee in a little tighter, draw it down, and then bring the right hand to the outside of left knee, left arm into a T, and bring that left knee over to the right. Twist in the spine, the left side of the lung is lifted and expanding. Exhale, soften the left shoulder down and perhaps turn your ear toward the mat. Inhale, come back up to center. Bring both feet down onto the mat with bent knees. Hands are on either side of your hips. We're going to press the pubic bone up toward the ceiling, lifting up as you take a pelvic tilt. Inhaling deeply here. Exhale, roll down to the tip of the tailbone. Inhale, take that pelvic tilt again. Exhale, roll down. Your feet are planted, your palms are down on the mat, gluing you in with your foundation. Inhale, this time we're going to lift the hips up off the mat, coming into a sweet little opening bridge pose. Exhale, roll down one vertebra at a time, really slowly until you come all the way to the tip of the tailbone. Inhale, lift up, come back up to bridge pose. This time your arms are going to reach up as well, fingers reaching toward the ceiling. Pause here for another deep breath in. Exhale, hands and hips slowly lower down, gently and softly. This time as you inhale, press up to bridge pose. Arms are lifted, hip points are high, and you're going to bring those arms all the way overhead, reaching and stretching with an opening morning stretch. Stay here for an additional breath or two. Here's where we start the work. The knees are pressing forward. Inner thighs are reaching toward each other. Exhale, bring hands up and down, simultaneously bringing the hips to rest. This time as you lift up to bridge pose, we're going to keep the palms down on the mat. Inhale, lift the hips up, press down through the palms and feel your shoulder blades scoop in toward each other. So we're lifting the heart, lifting the upper part of the chest, lifting those hip points high. Knees are reaching toward the front of the mat. Your feet are planted down. Nice strong breath here. And then we're going to increase the work a little bit more. We're going to lift that right foot off the mat and press the foot up toward the ceiling. So you're going to see if you can lift that right leg up and extend the leg upward. Stay strong, you can do it. Bring that right foot down. Switch legs, left foot lifts up. Sole of the foot pressing up. Thighs are still working. Chest is still lifted. Left foot comes down and release, release, release all the way down. Inhale, bring both knees into the chest, hug your knees in. Take a little rest here in Apanasana. Let that lower back stretch upward, maybe rock back and forth. Nice breath here. Sthira Sukha, effort and ease. All right, from this pose, let me just double check where I had planned for us to go next. Okay, come on up to elbows. So we're going to come up to a position where our elbows are underneath our shoulders. We're going to move into a fish pose. I don't do fish all that often, but it's really a wonderful pose for the immune system and to stretch the upper back. So we're going to bring our hands right on either side of the pelvis. We're going to lift up as you inhale, lift that chest up. Now, if you have any neck issues, you may not want to go any further back. You're still getting the lift through the chest. You're still pressing down through the palms. But if it feels okay and you want to lift up a little higher, we're going to lift so much that we drop the crown of the head backward toward the floor. Now your hands may slide a little further forward in order to facilitate this stretch. But keep lifting up through the back of the heart. Just let the crown of the head drop down. It's not pressing into the mat. It may just be hovering above. Don't collapse through the shoulders. Keep pressing up through the heart. One more breath here. And then bring the head slowly back up. Release the upper back all the way down. Take one breath here or a couple breaths in corpse pose. Reconnect to that idea of rest that we established at the beginning of practice. So here's our first resting pose that we're incorporating today. One more breath. Balancing the work. on back up. Come back up to that opening position where the elbows were underneath the shoulders. We sometimes call this bathing beauty pose. My old yoga teacher used to call it beach blanket pose because it was the old pose in the movies where they'd all sit on the beach like this. But we don't have a beach today. We're just going to have to pretend that we are enjoying that. So the elbows are directly underneath the shoulders or maybe slightly forward of that, depending on how that feels to your anatomy. We're going to lift the right leg up and just do some leg lifts. So point the toe as you inhale, lift it up, and then exhale, flex the foot, bring it down, and you're going to hover above the mat. So we're not tapping all the way down, but we're inhaling up, exhaling down, inhaling up, exhaling down, inhaling up. Keep that going. Use of the core here. You're still lifting up through the upper anatomy, so you don't want to collapse down and let your shoulders come forward, but you really want to press down through the elbows and the forearms. One more time. You've got this. Building up strength. And then release that right foot all the way down. Left foot is next, so let's try that side. Inhale and point. Exhale and lower. Inhale and point. Exhale, lower. Inhale, point. Keep it going. Use your breath throughout the practice. Your breath is your guide as to whether you need a solid break or not. One more time, up and down. And then release it all the way down. Come back down to your back. This time lift your arms up. Come into a full morning stretch, lifting those arms, fingers reaching in opposition of toes. And then relax. Resting breath here. Finding the balance. All right, bring the hands back down to the side. Bend your knees. We're going to go ahead and roll on up. And we'll swing the legs around and we'll meet in tabletop position. So establish your foundation in tabletop. The thumbs and the index fingers are your main point of grounding on the hands. The pads of the fingers press down and you lift up through the palms. So let's take a nice breath in. Just go ahead and take a couple of cat-cows here. Get a little motion in the spine. Back and forth. And then come to neutral spine. Lifting up through the core. Really working that core today. So we're going to become very cognizant of what's happening to that core body. Lift your navel so you feel it pressing upward toward your spine. Right leg is going to come back. Left arm is going to come forward. Lift that right leg up. Take a nice deep breath in and then exhale. Bring your right hand to a fist. Draw your knee in as you exhale. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw in and squeeze. Inhale, extend. Exhale, squeeze. Whoops. Inhale, extend. Almost lost my balance. Exhale, squeeze. One more time. And squeeze. This time bring your right hand back down and we're going to cross the left leg that's extended over the right. And we're going to look back over our right shoulder. You're going to slightly press into the left side of the body so you feel that stretch all the way down the right leg. You're gazing at your left toe, not right leg, left leg. Gazing at your toes. Breathe. And then with that leg, we're going to bring it back to our starting point. we're going to bring it forward between the hands. So left leg is up in front between our hands, and then we're going to lift up the right knee, coming into a low runner's lunge. Blocks are always here to bring that floor up to you, so feel free to use them as you like. Take your left hand and bring it to the inside of the right foot. And then heel toe the left foot out once and then twice. Coming into a nice little lizard pose here. We're allowing the left hip to open. You can pause here, or you can come down on that right knee, whichever provides you more stability. Nice breath here. And as an additional option, you can see if you'd like to lift that right foot up off of the mat and gaze back that direction once again. This is a really intense stretch on that right hip flexor, so go slowly. Gauge your own stability, listen to your body. Bring that right foot down, lift back up, and slide the left foot back. Come back to tabletop position. Right leg comes forward this time. Stay in your tabletop. I got ahead of myself. This time we're going to extend the right leg down the mat. Left arm is going to reach forward as we come into our bird dogs again. So extend and take that breath in as you're extended, and then exhale. Squeeze and draw in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw in. Extend, draw in. This is a core worker, so really be cognizant of where you're squeezing in the middle. One more draw in. And then bring the left hand back down. Extend the right leg. Cross it over the left. Keep the left. Can't get my lefts and rights today. Right leg crosses over to the left. And then we're going to look over the left shoulder. Gaze back at your toes. Slightly press into the right side of the body so you accentuate that stretch. And then bring the right leg back. Slide it forward, bring it between your hands. We're going to heel toe the foot to the outer edges of the mat. So heel toe once and then twice. Your toes are probably coming off the mat. Your heel may still be on there. You're going to lift up through the left leg, coming back into lizard pose. Just allow yourself to sink into the hips. Feel that nice squeeze and opening. And then option to drop that left knee again and lift the left foot up. Gazing over your shoulder, see if you can glimpse those toes. Beautiful stretch for the psoas. If that's too intense, then just leave the leg down. Inhale, come back to center. And we'll bring that right foot back under, coming back to tabletop. Let's press back to a full child's pose this time. Bringing the arms back behind the body, releasing the shoulders, and the forehead drops all the way down. 3 full breaths here. Balancing the work. And understanding that the rest is every bit as important as the work. That's where we go astray. We think that we have to hurry up and get to the next piece of work. Enjoy the rest. All right, slide the hands forward. Bring them back up to the front of the mat. Go ahead and press back to downward facing dog. Just do a nice little stretch here since we haven't stretched out the hamstrings at all today. And let's just walk the dog a little bit, lifting one ankle at a time. Lifting and lengthening through the spine. hand forward. We're gonna just walk our left foot up. It doesn't have to be anything beautiful. Bring the left foot up and we're gonna walk the hands around to the right. So we're coming to, you know what, if you wanna go the other way, if this turns you away from your screen, you can go the other way, because we're only gonna do this on one side and I want you to be able to see. So if you need to reposition, sorry about that. I wanted to face the screen for you, but sometimes that turns you guys around and then you end up not being able to see me. So we're coming into a wide leg forward fold. If you need the blocks, always bring them with you. Feet are parallel for the moment, and let's just drop the head down and allow the head to drop and fold. And then take a nice deep breath in. We're going to bring the heels in slightly, toes are pointing out, and then you're just going to bend your knees generously. So we're in kind of a gorilla squat here, just knees are tracking over the feet. We don't want to have them come out too far. We're going to gently walk our hands up the body and bring them to the tops of the thighs. So we're just coming into, like I said, it's kind of a little gorilla squat. Not too elegant, but it serves the purpose of what we need here. So we're gonna lengthen down through the tailbone. So make sure that your booty's not sticking back like this, but rather it's lengthening down, okay? So from this position, go ahead and drop your left shoulder down and just let that left shoulder release. And then as you're releasing left shoulder, you're gazing up over your right shoulder. Release the tension in the shoulder and the neck. Your gaze can be down to the side or up. Make sure your neck is always happy. Bring yourself back to neutral, and then we'll drop that right shoulder down. Just let it release. I know this is deep work for the legs, but think about the release in the shoulder and neck, and maybe that'll take the sting out of the work. All right, inhale, come back to center. Slowly bring your hands back down in front of you. We're gonna heel toe the feet in slightly, but we're gonna keep those heels pointing in, toes out, and we're just gonna lower our booty down all the way, coming into a Malasana squat. Hands are gonna come together. Elbows are coming out toward our thighs. Grab your block if you need to have a support here, because I'd rather you be supported and enjoy the stretch than feeling off balance. If your feet don't come all the way down, your heels can be up. Lifting up through the spine, press your elbows toward the insides of your knees. Find length. Take a breath here. One more. Very good. All right. So from Malasana, we're going to transition yet again. I'm going to turn so you can see this better. From Malasana, we're simply going to let, if you're sitting on a block, you may need to remove it, but we're simply going to let the booty come right down on the mat and then lift the legs up and come right into boat pose. If you want to make it half boat with the legs bent, that's your option here. Working the core, your strength is coming from that core center. Lift up through your spine. One more breath. Navasana is a great core worker. And then slowly bring your feet back down. We're going to pitch forward. We're going to come back up onto those feet, coming right back into Malasana. But then we can plant the hands down. We're not going to stay here this time. We're going to plant the hands down, lift ourselves back up. Come all the way up this time. Come back into a wide leg position. Legs are straight, arms reaching up. Come into 5-point star. Take a a nice deep breath here. See if you can find the rest in the star pose. All right. Bring your hands down to your waist. We're going to come forward, parallel the feet as you lower the body down. And then walk your hands back around to the front of the mat. Slide your feet forward. Come to forward fold, facing the front of your mat. Inhale. Let's lift up halfway. Lengthen through the spine. Exhale, hinging from your hips. Fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up. Reach those arms up and over. Get a nice full stretch, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands come down by your side. We're going to move into Garudasana, or eagle pose. Eagle pose is a balancing pose and a strengthening core pose. It's also working the internal rotation of the hips and the shoulders. A lot going on in eagle. And step back so you can see me a little better. So first, we're going to establish our leg positions, our foundation building from the ground up. Left foot plants down. Right leg is going to cross over the left. So finding that balance initially. Squeeze your thighs together. If you need a wall or something to stabilize, feel free to use that. So squeeze your thighs together. My left knee is bent, all right? So my left leg's not straight, it's bent. Feel that tailbone reaching down toward the earth. Lift your arms forward and then bend your elbows. Cross your right forearm over your left. Twist your arms together, or the backs of the hands can simply press together. Elbows shift forward. Reach those elbows toward the front of the mat as you open up behind the shoulder blades. Deep breath here. Keep squeezing your thighs. Your core's working. You got this. Unwind your hands. Bring the right foot back down. And take a breath in mountain pose. From mountain, we're going to step back with the left leg. Coming into warrior one. Lift your arms up in warrior one. And then bring them down into goddess arms. So my elbows are lifting out. Hands are facing forward. Chin up. Bring your hands together. Hands come to heart. We're going to shift forward to warrior three. So we're balancing on the right leg this time. Bring that weight forward. Kickstand for a moment if you need to. Before we tip forward into warrior three. Your right leg can be slightly bent. It can have a little play in the knee if that helps your balance. Breathe. You're working. Core is engaged. Left leg comes down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way back up again. Nice full body stretch. And hands come to the side in mountain pose. 3 full breaths here. Root down through those feet. Make your resting pose every bit as important as the active pose. Mountain is an active pose, actually, but we can rest as well. All right, one more breath. And then we'll come and start that sequence on the other side. So this time we're going to come into Garudasana, or eagle, on the right leg. Make sure you've got that leg stabilized. Hopefully you can see me. I think I kind of lose it when my screen gets too bright there. So give a little play in that right knee. Cross the left leg over. You can wrap that foot around if that helps you stabilize, or it can just kind of hang there on the right side, either way. Really work on that core stability first. Here's where you're going to notice if your tailbone's sticking out, you're going to feel like you're pitching forward. We really want to feel that spine nice and straight and stacking. Hands forward, bend the elbows. This time left elbow crosses right. Wrap your hands around each other, squeeze them together, and press your elbows forward. 3 full breaths here. This is where the work is. Find something to focus on. One more breath. Unwind your hands, bring your left foot down. One breath in mountain pose here. Then we'll step back with the right foot. Lift the arms up. Virabhadrasana 1. Bring your hands down to the side, goddess arms. Your elbows and shoulders are the same height. Palms reaching forward, gaze is slightly up. And then we'll bring the hands together at the heart. You know where we're going, warrior 3. So we're going to lift up with the right leg, shift the weight forward, take off in flight with that right foot lifted. Heart is reaching forward. You can lift a little or a lot. And if you lose your balance and you got to start again, it's no big deal. Happens to me all the time. All right, bring that right foot down. Lift your arms up, reach and extend. Inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale and lift. Exhale and fold. Step back, downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. We're going to use down dog as a quasi-resting pose. A lot of people wouldn't agree with that. And if it's not restful to you, always drop down into child. All right. From downward facing dog, we're going to come forward, stacking the elbows over the wrists, coming into a full plank pose. Told you we're going to work the core today, so we got a little bit more to do. So in plank pose, make sure your back is nice and straight. Core is really engaged here. And then from plank pose, we're just going to kind of shift on our feet back and forth. So we're swaying our hips back and forth. And then eventually, the next time, we're just going to come all the way into side plank, coming to the right side of our foot. If you want to take the kickstand approach and bring that left leg up, you've got that option. Or you can keep it going in the full side plank. One more breath. Lift up through the ribs, okay? Don't collapse through that mid-body. Left arm comes all the way back down. Come back to full plank. Drop the knees. Press back to child's pose this time. 3 breaths here. One more. Inhale, come forward, and press back, downward facing. From downward facing dog, come on forward, establish your plank once again. Make sure that you scoot your feet back far enough so you've got some nice length. You want to have a straight line from the top of your head all the way down to your feet, if possible. And just shift back and forth a little bit. Get used to where your body's equilibrium is. Keep engaging the core. And this time we're going to roll over to the outside of the left foot. Hand can either come to your side, it can lift up, Or you can take that right leg and give yourself the kickstand. No shame either way. Find your side plank. Keep extending and lifting up through the right side ribs. One more breath. You got this. Right hand down. Drop the knees. And let's press back to child once again. Ooh, deserving that rest this time. Two more breaths here. Let's go ahead and lift up to downward facing dog. From our down dog, we're going to lift the right leg up. So sweep that right leg up to the ceiling, and then we're just going to bring it all the way through to the front of the mat, low runner's lunge. Drop the heel of the left foot. We're going to lift up once again to warrior one. Left foot is planted. Reach and extend. This time arms are going to come down by the side. We're going to inhale one more time in this position. And then we're going to exhale, sweep the hands down. They're just going to graze your mat, and you're going to inhale and lift them back up. So we're going to exhale, airplane arms, sweep them down, inhale, lift up. Exhale, airplane arms, flat back. Arms sweep down and lift back up. Bring your hands back down to the mat. Come to low runner's lunge. Right leg comes back. Press back to downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg up. Three-legged dog here. And then we'll sweep it through, bringing up to the front of the mat in one nice smooth motion if you can. Help yourself with a helping hand if you need that two-step approach. Right heel plants down, lift up, use that core strength, really keying into the core this time. We should be always, but especially with this practice. And then we're going to come into that airplane sequence again. So exhale, hands to the side, flat back, sweep down, and inhale, reach forward. Exhale, airplane, sweep down, circle, lift forward. One more time. Use your breath. Exhale, hands come back down to the mat. Slide your left foot back, downward facing dog. Come on forward, come down to hands and knees. And we're going to sit back in a hero's pose. If hero is not particularly comfortable for you, bring your blocks into this pose. You can always stack them at any length you need, any height you need. So if you're putting a block into the works, you just put it between your knees and sit up just as you would if you were putting your seat down on the mat. It's all about understanding what you're feeling in your body. So if this is where you need to be or even higher, that's fine. If your seat can come all the way down between the feet, then that's where you need to be. Take a breath in, close your eyes for a moment. Rest your shoulders down. Using hero as yet another quasi-resting pose. Again, it's not really a resting pose, but we're going to use it to quiet the mind and just invite the stillness back in once again. Sthira Sukha, effort and ease. Open your eyes. If you have a the strap, then we're going to grab that strap right now. Did a lot of work with the shoulders today, so we're going to end up with a nice little shoulder opening stretch, more of a yin type stretch. And your strap can be fairly short here. We're just going to come to Gomukhasana arms, cow-faced arms. So we're going to take that strap. We're not going to go into full cow face because we've done a lot with the hips already, so I think that they can just kind of hang out here in hero and get a little bit more of a rest. So we're going to take that strap over the right shoulder. Take your left fingers and just coax that right elbow to the extent that it will lift up straight up and down. So get that stretch in the tricep. Left hand then reaches around to the back, grab hold of the strap, walk your fingers up the strap to whatever extent they comfortably reach. Find your edge. Breathe and release. Let the shoulders relax. Gaze us down your nose or ahead. Or you can close your eyes if you wish. Maybe the fingers walk up the strap a little bit more. Maybe there's room that you've opened up. Never going beyond your edge, but just right up to it. Release the strap with the left hand, bring that around, and we'll start on the other side. So strap throws over the left shoulder. Right fingertips coax that left shoulder up. It wants to forget. It thinks it's up. So we have to coax it up there with the other hand. Once you have it in place, wrap that right arm around, reach up, grab the strap. Continue to lengthen through the spine so your seat is still grounded. Crown of the head is reaching up. Find the rest in the pose, even as you're stretching. When I say find the rest in the pose, it doesn't mean you let go of everything. It doesn't mean that your muscles aren't working and that you're not still holding the pose. But I mean, just stop mentally feeling like you have to go further. Rest exactly where you are and enjoy exactly what's working for you right now. One more breath. Release the right side, bring the left around. You can throw that strap off to the side. And let's go ahead and unbend the legs, bring them out in front. We're going to do one forward stretch and then we'll roll down. So let's inhale, bring the arms up. And exhale, just let yourself come forward. Back can be rounded. Just let the shoulders drop down. Release your head. Just feel that stretch go all the way up and down the spine. Slide your fingers back, sit up, and we're going to release all the way down, coming right back to where we began. Before we slip into a full Shavasana, let's bend the knees. Bring the knees into the chest, hug them in. Lift the soles of the feet to the ceiling. Slide your hands up the sides of the legs. maybe grasp the outside of your feet to come into a nice, sweet, happy baby. Just letting your knees drop down. Let your shoulders relax. Feel the full real estate of your spine, getting a little bit of a massage as it's pressed down into the mat. Rock back and forth if that feels good. Let yourself enjoy that. And then bring feet together. Go ahead and place one hand on the top of each knee and just create some small circles with the knees, circling around, massaging the sacrum. Did a lot of hip work today. Really did a lot for the whole body. A lot of core work, but we also worked hips and shoulders. So you may feel this pretty much everywhere today. And then circle around the other direction. I'll give you something to remember me by until Monday. You got all day Sunday to rest. And then bring those knees to stillness. Feet come down on the mat. Let's just go ahead and slide them all the way down. And we will really drop in now. We've got 4 or 5 minutes to just completely enjoy this Shavasana to the fullest. Done the work, you showed up. That was the hard part, really. You did the hardest part before we even started. Always be so proud of showing up, being there for yourself in this practice. Knowing that whatever you do in practice, it's going to be good for you. Drop down and you take 10 more resting poses than anyone else. If that's what you needed, then you have practiced your yoga today in the highest possible form. Surrender to your mat. Surrender the doing. And take rest in the being. the day to come back in. Exhale and release out anything that's lingering that does not serve you well. Add some lotion into your fingers and toes. Maybe circle the fingers, the hands, the wrists. She'll wiper the feet back and forth. As you're ready, you can bend the knees, up into your chest. In your own way, in your own time, roll yourself up. Close this practice together. Let's lift the arms up, reaching, stretching, gazing upward at your thumbs. And then exhale, bring those hands down to the heart center. The light in me is so honored and grateful for the light within you as well. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Om Shanti, 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 and Namaste.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful.
Oh, good. So good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Hope you both have a wonderful rest of your weekend.
Thank you. You
And-
too.
All right, I'll be
This
back.
was a great start to the weekend.
Oh, good, good. Hope you feel great. See you Monday, hopefully.